It's not. And that's the point. At some point, the executives have to say, hey, you're not doing your job, which is we're supposed to make money as a company, as a business.
Yeah.
So do something
It's clearly
different.
not, wait, listen, it's clearly not working, or there wouldn't be firing.
With all due respect, Sean, with all due respect, Sean,
I gotta jump back
with all due respect, Sean,
all right, so like, let's just hold on. Mark Lamont Hill is on this episode of Piers Morgan, where everybody pretty much comes for him. It is so like weird, like he like cries or something. I wonder if he knows that his eyes like excrete stuff. I'm sorry. Okay, so anyway, but I just kind of want to move it over to kind of the beginning, because Piers Morgan shows a really good monologue of why people do not like Joy Reid. No matter what I think is going on right now with the media, because I do think that there is this weird kind of push with the media happening. Look, I got to be cynical about a lot of things. I keep saying, when it comes to Joy Reid, well, she just had to be, like, hey, you know what I mean? Like casualties of war. That's just what she is.
One of Trump's fiercest critics, who is best known for commentary like this.
The race lady. Why would they call me that? Is this really about me fixating on race, or is it about you fixating on race?
But Donald Trump wants to never let black and brown folk up off the mat. Evident what they mean by DEI, right? Why not just say what you mean? You can't stand black people. We get it. You've been heard.
Are you committed to naming a black woman as your vice presidential running mate?
They wanted to go after the brown people too, because of course that is their other target.
Well, now Donald Trump has sparked uproar among DC journalists by taking control of the official press pool, the White House Correspondents Association.
Now, so with that said, too, it went further. And I mean, like, Joy Reid really was that miserable black woman. Like, I don't have a problem saying it. I will say it to the cow. Like, I don't care. But then Rachel Maddow kind of went off on her own network, and you just got to be careful. I mean, maybe she talked to them and told them, like, listen, I got to do this or else we're going to lose viewers. We answer to a certain crowd of people, okay? So maybe that's what it was, and we're going to go ahead and watch that clip. But please, guys, don't forget the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you to every eye that lands on these videos.
The biggest star at MSNBC then accused her own bosses, NBC, of racism. Let's take a look.
I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC. And personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door. It is not my call, and I understand that, but that's what I think. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend.
And I mean, we still doing that? That right there, I don't want to meet your quota. I don't want to be known as the non-white host that's losing her job. I just would, this is why being independent, do your own thing, I thank God for it, because this is what it always comes down to, my race. I like differences in race. Like, I know that there are differences in people and heritage. I enjoy it. Like, I like pierogies from Polish people, like, because it always goes back to food, right? I love Spanish music, I like, I like certain things. Yes, culture, I do. But it can't always come down to, oh, well, you're black and you did this. No, I'm Casey and I did this. Like, come on, man, stop doing that. But this is what these people thrive on. I mean, if Joy Reid, I'm not going to call her dumb because she did go to college. I mean, like, she's got like a liberal arts, whatever. But at the same time, it's like she thrived on being the angry black woman.
And that feels worse than bad.
So, Mark Lamont Hill, what's utterly bizarre about that rant from Rachel Maddow is that Joy Reid is being replaced on her show by not one person of color, but three. 2 African Americans and a Latino. Isn't that a good thing? Isn't it the complete opposite of what she just told her viewers?
In Rachel's monologue, which I'm not sure why you called it a rant, but in her monologue, she said that it was a mistake to lose Joy. And prior to the part that you cut from, she explained Joy's talent. She explained why it was a loss. She never called the network racist. I mean, I understand that that's your interpretation, and
Well,
I do
she
think
did.
it's a
She said
mistake
that
to let
the two
hosts-
people of colour in prime time were going, but she didn't point out that one of them is being replaced by 3 people of colour.
Right.
So the whole statement,
Right.
the whole attack on her network was predicated on an absolute falsehood, which is that somehow they're taking the black people away, and this is awful. It's racist, was the clear insinuation.
Right, and I was trying to make a nuanced point, and if you allow me to finish the point uninterrupted as you allow Jason to, you'll hear it. I promise I won't go on a rant.
I like that Sean Spicer is cracking up because he should laugh at him, right? Like, I don't know Sean Spicer or anything like that. I've heard him a couple times or whatever. But Mark Lamont Hill always is so emotional. It is so disgusting to listen. I'm sorry. After he said men can have babies, never had any respect for him. I was like, oh, all right, you just go along, bro. Like, you just lay down and take it, don't you?
Okay.
What I'm saying is you can have a critique of someone making a mistake along the lines of race without them being racist. For example, saying, hey, we need racial representation on the show is to say that, hey, this is a network that has a huge black base, a huge black woman base. Hey, maybe it makes sense to have a popular black woman host stay on the show. That's her argument. There's an argument against it for ratings. I'm not making a case right now one way or the other on that point. My point more precisely is it's not necessarily racist, or you're not necessarily accusing someone of racism to say that they made a mistake along the lines of race. That's all I'm saying. And no, black people are not interchangeable. So even if I were to replace you, Piers, with another British white male host, not everybody has your talent. Not everybody has your knack for deep listening and careful listening. And so I can't say, well, I got rid of Piers, but here's another one. So, and I like the replacements, but I don't.
But the thing is, and Piers is better than me because he tried to be funny there. But the thing about that is, like, what I would have said is, I'm not the one saying it. She said that they're losing 2 non-white hosts. This is how she referred to the people that they're losing. 2 non-white hosts. She did that. And so now I'm saying, well, since that's all that she's saying is that sentence is that they're losing 2 non-white hosts, then now I'm saying, well, they're getting 2 more non-white hosts plus an extra non-white host. Since this is how we're moving the ponds here. It's just that simple. I'm just responding back to what she said. I didn't tell her to say that. Right? Like, I mean, I think that Joy Reid is more than just a non-white host. I think she's an angry black woman, right? But it's still, they're the ones doing the checkers and all, you know, the tic-tac-toe of like moving non-white to white, non-white and all this. I'm just answering her on her level. That's it. I want to see what Ana Kasparian has to say about this. There was a whole debacle too with like Don Lemon lost his mind. He was such a weirdo. So we'll start it from here.
Was fired from NBC in the Today Show a few years ago, and that's Megyn Kelly. So let me just say to Megyn Kelly, in my 30-some years as a journalist and my 50-some years as a person of color, go fuck yourself.
I cannot stand Don Lemon. I can't stand him because, and I'm sorry, I find him to just be an absolute, like, he became such a yes man and I could go further. That to listen to him speak in my 50-something years of being a person of color, like, oh man, y'all out here calling yourselves coloreds, like, it's just too much. Like, who cares? What do you got? Oh, so you got the expertise? Like, yo, bro, like, who cares? Y'all think y'all important because and this is how I always have to get. Like, again, you can be happy if you're like who you are altogether, but please, Don Lemon anyway. Like, I'm sorry, there's nothing he can say to me.
Just say to Megyn Kelly, in my 30-some years as a journalist and my 50-some years as a person of color, go fuck yourself.
But not really. He's not a girl.
Okay.
I do love the way that Don positions himself as the antidote to toxicity, and then tells people to go fuck themselves. But Anna, look, it's all blowing up. This, I do think it's interesting that MSNBC, having gone all in on Kamala Harris and all out on Trump because of the election result, now seem to be in some kind of crisis of confidence about what they should be. What do you think of it?
Well, I actually think that, the obsession over the conversation on race and race baiting kind of misses the mark on what I think MSNBC is really vulnerable on, and that's the issue of trust and credibility among audience members or anyone who might be considering MSNBC as a news source. So, for instance, Kamala Harris did not run a flawless campaign, not by a long shot. Okay, her campaign was very flawed. It did not have a focused message. She was taking advice from, corporate executives within her family, and she moved off of the economic issues that obviously voters consistently communicated through polling they cared the most about. And so when she goes on camera and says that Kamala Harris ran a flawless campaign after the election, in which Donald Trump wins all the swing states in the popular vote, I think audiences start to become more cynical about where they're getting their information. And so a lot of lies were kind of debunked in the aftermath of the election. And when I say lies, I'm specifically referring to how fantastic the Democratic Party is, how they really have a vision for the future, how flawless Kamala Harris is. Even though the aggregate of polls showed that she was trailing Donald Trump, we kept hearing all of these rosy news reports about how she was doing fantastic. And so I think the Democratic Party and the left in general really needs to have a moment of self-reflection instead of seeking out news content that validates everything that they believe and want to hear. And that's honestly the biggest flaw and downside of the Democratic Party at the moment. And people like Joy Reid, unfortunately, foster that kind of environment that made them think, no, we're killing it. We're doing great. Now,
I don't, and his face is so scrunched up, like, that's not true. That's not true. Like, bro, you better get with the program. Like, because I don't think they're really watching you like that, Mark Lamont Hill. Like, seriously, you really better get with the program. Look, I'm going to give you the real nitty gritty. Okay, because to be honest, Joy Reid had how long to sit here, and the way she would talk about white people and be almost like cheered on to do it for how long as the way she did it and for how long she's done it. There was a time that she did tweets about homosexuals or something, and she had to like really try to clean that up. But she demeaned white people every chance she got, Christians especially too. White Christians were her favorite go-to to like go off on, this whole racial thing or whatever. And anyway, she was allowed to, sorry, I got distracted. Y'all saw that. Is that I keep forgetting I'm back on camera. Anyway, she was allowed to do that for the longest time. There is a push now to move to more of a center type of conservative type of feeling. Whether it's organic or not is not my problem at the moment, but there is a move to do that. And Joy Reid did not fit that move anymore. She should have known that this day was going to come. When they need you, they use you. When they don't need you, they toss you. And it's just that simple. Now, I am not shedding a single tear over Joy Reid. Rachel Maddow better be careful. She said her little thing. I'm sure she's moved on. But at the end of the day, it became too much. And Mark Lamont Hill really needs to get with the program. He just looks like I just can't even take his face right now in this whole screenshot. But anyway, that's just what's going on. So I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.